Yuriy Sak is an advisor to the Ukrainian Minister of Defence. He joins us live from Kyiv. Thank you very much for being with us. So if Russia does go ahead with annexing these regions after the referendums that will be held in these areas of Ukraine occupied by the Russians, what will it mean for Ukraine in terms of what it can do militarily?
Nothing. These fake referendums, these sham referenda, they will have no impact whatsoever on Ukraine's military tactics or strategy. We are determined to continue to liberate our lands. We have the commitment of our international partners and allies in terms of providing us with more military assistance. So, these desperate moves by the Kremlin to achieve, we don't understand what. I mean, of course, the kind of simple logic is that they want to quickly annex these territories so that they can then perhaps use the nuclear blackmail or whatever. But at the same time, for us, for Ukrainians, it's a war for our survival. It's a war for European values, for European freedom. There's no way back for us. There's only way forward.
You mentioned nuclear blackmail. How concerned are you that the combination of annexation and what you describe as nuclear blackmail will soften the support from some EU countries and the US for military support in Ukraine?
Russia is a terrorist state, and as such, it has been using various forms of blackmail, including the nuclear blackmail, for a while now. It's not new to us. It's not new to our partners. What we are seeing, however, is even an increased commitment of our partners to provide us with support. You might have heard that just tonight, the US president announced a new package of assistance to Ukraine. We are going to get more HIMARS systems. We're going to get more heavy artillery. And of course, faced with this type of, the Kremlin wanted to demilitarize Ukraine. In reality, they're getting the reverse effects.
And so, just to go back though to the nuclear issue, I mean, what I suppose that the effect of making these areas, annexing these areas, is to say they come under the umbrella, the nuclear umbrella for Russia. I mean, are there any other extra precautions that you need to take, given that is essentially, I suppose, an escalation if they take over these areas?
Russia's military aggression against our country was based on misconceptions and miscalculations from the very first day. At the beginning, they believed that they could win our country and take it over in 3 days, despite the evidence that, we were definitely determined to fight and to protect our land. Now, apparently, this is another miscalculation. They believe that by annexing these territories, they will achieve some results and they will trigger the nuclear umbrella and their doctrine. And they're hoping that they will be able to blackmail Ukraine as well as international community into some caving in or barging into their ultimatums. This will not happen because we understand, as well as our allies understand very well, that Russia is not planning to stop in Ukraine. Russia will continue to go as far as we, as an international community, allow it to go. So this is why everybody understands that this needs to stop here, and this doesn't. We cannot allow this to spread further west. So from that perspective, we understand that the international community, our allies, are ready to act. One thing that we are asking everybody for is, of course, to consider certain preemptive measures, because before the beginning of the large-scale invasion, we were requesting, and we were telling the world that, look, it's time to impose the sanctions now because, they will not work later. We were right. So right now, our president, Mr. Zelensky, also says, look, let's think about preemptive measures because, why deal with things post factum if we can do them now?
Just briefly, can you explain to us what you've had the push in the Kharkiv region where you've made gains? What's happening elsewhere in the country in terms of military progress?
The counteroffensive continues. As your previous guest rightly said, there are very severe battles and fighting near the city of Liman, which is near Luhansk region. There are severe battles in certain parts of the front line in Donetsk region, around cities like Bakhmut, Slovyansk. They are target of missile strikes on the part of Russia. So, it's too early to relax, and we are not euphoric. We're not complacent. We understand that this is far from over. This is why we have to, step up our efforts, and the international community needs to continue to provide us with weapons.
Yuriy Sak, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you.